What's up, everybody? Quick little program review here. Actually been getting a lot of questions about this. Something that's very common that comes up, especially for YouTubers. How do you trim and split a video? Now, basically you don't want no fancy editing. You don't want to do no Final Cut, no Premiere, whatever. You want something fast, basic, quick. I mean, I know I'm always in that kind of a jam. Hurry up, split a video in half. Trim the end off, trim the beginning off. Blah, 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 done. Well, I've come across a really, really great program that I've been using for quite a while, and I'm quite happy about it. And the name of that program is Mpeg Streamclip. It's completely free. It's a really good program. It's at www.squared5.com. Now, what I like about this program as opposed to a lot of programs is that when you split your videos, okay, you don't have to re-encode them. And let me tell you, it's fast. It really, really trims them fast. So say I have an hour video and I want to split it into two 30-minute parts. Boom, done. And exports the video in the same exact file format that you imported it in, and exactly the same quality. I've come across a lot of these programs, a lot of these quick little video editing programs where they really can degrade the quality of your video. I found this one to be lossless quality. Okay? I'm going to do a really quick, simple example here. I got a video here, I just did for YouTube. It's a short video, but that's not the point. So what I'm going to do is, let's just pretend it was a long video and I wanted to split it. You could go to File, Open, and tell the browser where the file is located on your computer. Or, faster yet, you could just grab the video on your desktop or wherever it's at, click it, and just drag it right in. Okay, there's the video. You could play it. What is up, everybody? Murray NJ08 here. Okay, go back. You could scrubby with the scrubby sliders, like your standard fare for video editing. Okay, zoom in here so everybody can see what the heck I'm doing. I'm going to basically show you real quick what you could do. As a matter of fact, there's actually shortcuts. Now, so say I want to keep the whole video in the beginning. I don't want to trim nothing off in the beginning. So basically what I would do is I would take the scrubby slider and go all the way to the beginning of the video file where I can't push it anymore. It's as far as it can go. It's at the very beginning because I want the whole video. I just want to split it. There might be a little something at the end that you could trim off, but I'll get to that later. But let's just say we want to do an even split. So basically we have a little keyframe here that's automatic. Okay? Well, it's not automatic, but I'll show you how to add it in there. But the scrubby slider is right in there. Okay? You can see it. I'm going to go all the way as far back as I can go. Now, basically there's two things you could do here. You could go to Edit, and you can go to Select In. Now basically what that does is that selects your keyframe. That adds a keyframe to basically it's a starting point. It's where the frame is going to start. That's when the video is going to start playing. So you necessarily don't have to have it in the beginning. If you want to trim off a little bit of the beginning, if you were setting up your camera or whatever, you could trim that off. In this case, I'm not gonna. So you can either do, very simple, Edit, Select In, or you can actually just hit I on your keyboard. Okay, now you take this, so that keyframe is saved even when I move this slider. Okay, so you want to split the video in half. Okay, so let's see, roughly, let's just say for this instance, for this example, I'm going to go right here in the middle. Again, you could do two things. You could go to Edit. Now we want Select Out, so basically that's end the keyframe. But as you can see, just like I, the shortcut here is O. So think of it, in, out. So I'm going to do O. Now take a look at this. See if we can zoom in on this. You see the gray area and the white area? That's your first video clip. So everything from the beginning right into where you put your end frame key point, your keyframe, you know, that whole gray area is one video clip, and everything else, you know, is left for later, for extra. So basically that's your video. And then basically what you would do is you would go to File. I'm not going to actually do it, but you would go to Save As, and then you would name your file. Well, we'll do it like this. You would name your file. You know, same format that you imported it in. You could label it Part 1. That's usually what I do. You know. Okay, there's your first part of your file, and then you would save it. And that would be your, you know, X amount of minutes. Now, here's what I like about this. Instead of finding out the duration of the video and where you have to start the next keyframe, you don't have to. You don't have to. All you got to do is go back to Edit and select in, or, of course, I. Now, look what just happened just by doing that. You didn't even have to select an endpoint. You didn't even have to do Select O. Because here's what happens. It automatically knows to start from there where you left off the last video, and look, it continued it in gray all the way to the end of the video. So there's your second part of your video, and it continues exactly where the other one left off. So there's no guessing, oh, where do I start the next keyframe? Nope, you don't have to unless you move it, but you wouldn't do that if you know that's where you're going to start your next video, where you ended the last one. And then of course what you would do is you would do the same thing, File, Save As, and then you would do Save Part 2. You would just label it Part 2 in whatever video it was, you know, iPad unboxing, whatever, Part 2. And then you would hit Cancel, or Surface Pro. Okay, now let's just get a little bit more involved for those that want a little bit extra. Now, see the second part. Now, let's say I kind of messed up at the end, or I had to, you know, I got up and I had to go by the tripod and turn my camera off. I want to trim that off. That's fine, because now all you got to do is grab your scrubby slider, right, and say the very end is where you want to cut it off. So say you want a few seconds right before it ends. So right about there. That's all. Or actually, maybe a little more. Maybe the video your camera kept rolling after you were done. Okay, so you still got your beginning point where your last video ended, your new video begins, right? Now you got your end point for your second part, and you want to trim a little bit of the end off. Now you would do this, select out, or O, and look at that. There's your video, trimmed. So not only is your video split in half, but it's also trimmed. In the same thing too, if you want to trim some of the beginning off, then you would just do your select in point a little bit before, like right there. Or whatever, you know. Heck, you could split this video into 20, 30 parts, whatever you want to do. So it's basically just selecting an in point and an out point. An in point and an out point. Or in point and an out point, saving it. Then from where your last video ended, your new video begins. To another out point, save it. To another out point, save it. So forth and so on. It's a pretty standard fare, pretty easy image editing program, which is why I like it. And like I said, you know, the video quality is exactly the quality that you imported it in. The video file is exactly the same. Nothing changes. So that's one of my little quick editing programs that I use for trimming and splitting my videos. And believe you me, it comes in very handy. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's easy. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, take care.